Welcome to the third Heurist tutorial video. I'm Michael Falk, Community Technical Advisor at Heurist, and I'm delighted to be able to show you some of Heurist's basic features. In this third video, I will show you how to define relationships between records. Data in the humanities is typically complex and networked. An artwork might be related to different people, galleries, artistic movements, or national traditions. A play or a piece of music might be related to different venues, directors, or composers. Heurist provides a rich array of features for connecting and relating different entities to one another. In this video, I'll show you one of Heurist's most powerful tools for connecting data points to one another, the relationship marker. This video is accompanied by a full walkthrough on our website, so don't worry if I seem to be going quickly. You can use the walkthrough to follow along step by step. For our example in this tutorial, we will relate a world leader to the country that they rule. In order to do this, we'll follow a similar process to the previous tutorial. First, we'll create a vocabulary of the different political offices a person might hold in a particular place. Secondly, we'll modify the person type to have a new political officer's relationship field. And finally, we'll enter some data. Relationships are an important way of connecting entities in a humanities database. This is because of the complex phenomena that humanities scholars study. Consider the three men on this slide. All bore a relationship to the country we now call Nigeria. But are the Second Nigerian Republic, Biafra, and the Fourth Nigerian Republic the same country? How should these entities be related? By using relationship fields, we can express complex data like this in an intuitive manner. For our example today, we'll use a much simpler case. Robert Menzies, who was Prime Minister of Australia not once, but twice. By creating a new relationship marker, we will be able to record each of his prime ministerships as a separate entity which existed for a specific span of time. At the moment, there is nothing connecting Robert Menzies and Australia in the database. The first step to creating a relationship between them is to define a new vocabulary of different political offices a person can hold. Make sure to tick the box that says this vocabulary is used for the relationship type. Once you've created the vocabulary, you can start adding terms. As these terms will be used to define relationships, I suggest that you use a verb phrase for the term. For instance, is Prime Minister of, or is President of. I'm going to create terms for Prime Minister, President, and Finance Minister, but you can create whatever you like for your own experiments. If you don't know how to do this step, take a look back at tutorial 2. Now we have a list of different political offices that a person might hold in a country. The next step is to modify the data entry form for the person type so that we can use this new vocabulary to describe the different relationships that world leaders have to the countries that they rule. The process is the same as in the previous tutorial. Go to the Explore menu, double-click on Robert Menzies, and when you see the data entry form, click Modify Structure at the top left to add a new field. Since a Prime Ministership is a life event, let's put this new field in the Biography tab of the form. There are several additional pieces of information you need to provide when defining a relationship field. As with all fields, you begin by giving a field name, political officers in this case, and some default help text to guide the user when they're doing data entry. For data type, however, you need to pick relationship marker. This will bring up some extra fields. In this case, we want repeatability to be repeatable because, as in Menzies' case, a person can hold an office multiple times. For vocabulary, you need to pick political office vocab. The final important thing you need to do is pick the target record type. In this case, a person can only hold a political office in a country or of a place, so therefore the target record type should be place. This will prevent users from, for example, writing that Robert Menzies is Prime Minister of Joe Biden, because they will be obliged to pick a place for the person to hold their political office in. Now that we've defined our new vocabulary and also defined our new relationship marker field, it's time to enter some data. As in the previous tutorial, click Close to stop editing the person record type and to go back to the normal data entry screen. Under the Biography tab, you'll now see the new field for political offices. If you click Add Relationship marker, you'll be able to pick the relationship, in this case is Prime Minister of, and you'll be able to pick the country, in this case Australia. If you click Edit Attributes, you'll now be able to provide some additional information about the relationship. Let's start by adding the start date and the end date for Robert Menzies' first stint as Prime Minister. Of course, for the sake of the tutorial, you can enter whatever dates you like. To make it easy to enter his second stint as Prime Minister, use the Dupe button at the bottom of the screen. This will create another relationship with all of the same information, meaning that all you need to do is alter the dates. Then click Save and Close, and you've now entered both of Robert Menzies' Prime Ministerships into the database. Once you've closed Robert Menzies' record, click Recent/All at the top of the Explore pane to refresh the records, and you'll see that the two relationships now appear there, one for each of his Prime Ministerships. And if you click on either Robert Menzies or on Australia, you'll see that both Prime Ministerships are displayed in both records. If you click back on Robert Menzies, you can also see his political career displayed as a map with integrated timeline. Simply click on him, click Map, and zoom out to see both his Prime Ministerships plotted on a map, and beneath it, a timeline displaying when they began and ended. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. Now you know how to define a new relationship marker by creating a vocabulary describing new kinds of relationship and then adding a relationship field to a particular record type. I hope you have enjoyed these videos, in which I have covered just a small number of Heurist's many features. If you want any help structuring your own Heurist database, please get in touch using the Contact Us feature on our website or by emailing support@heuristnetwork.org.